Hello and welcome to the Group 28's first sprint review. I will be going through each of the user stories and the acceptance criteria for this whole sprint, and in the end, I will talk about the overall project progress. To begin with the first user story, which is setting up the Salesforce website, the acceptance criteria for this user story was to have a login that all team members can use. So what we did for this situation was we created a Gmail account for the specific project. We used that to create the Salesforce account, so everyone has access to the Gmail and the Salesforce account in the GroupMe. We also had to require an Athena app on Salesforce as one of our acceptance criterias. So as you can see, that Athena app is built and ready. And the third acceptance criteria we had was to communicate with group members about timings for working on the app. The way we decided to go about this was just talking through GroupMe and remaining in active communication about when everyone would be able to get on. Going forward, we will be making a schedule to keep it a little bit more defined. We did run into some problems with scheduling and having to wait on others to develop on the app. So going forward, we will be making a schedule. The second user story was to create a database schema, and the acceptance criteria for the database schema was to have all of the classes from the domain class diagram and to create relationships based off of the domain class diagram. And as you can see, we have both parts done here. The third user story was to manage the data steward account. So for that, we made a data steward tab, and the acceptance criteria for this user story was basically to be able to create a new data steward account, to be able to update and edit a data steward account, and to be able to delete a data steward account. So to add one, you would just simply click new and fill out the information and click save. To edit, you would click on one that's already made, you would click edit, and then to delete, you would click delete, and then after that, it would prompt you again, and then you would just say okay. The next user story was to manage user/requester account, and that the user is what we're calling the requesters in this project. So for that, we would just go to requesters, the requesters tab, and the acceptance criteria for this use case was supposed to be create a new user, update user, view request, and be able to also delete a user, and that's more for that's more of a data store job, but they're still able to do it through this one tab. And then there's also instructions on how to create and update any requesters. So to create a requester and to create a user, you just click new, you fill out the information, and then you click save, and then to edit or delete, you click the user that's already created, and then there's the edit and delete button. The last user story that we had in the sprint was to manage requests. So for that, we have a request tab as well already made, and the acceptance criteria for this was to be able to create a new request, have a space to fill out information about the request, an update request, and have instructions for how to manage this tab. So to create a request, you click new, you fill out the information asked, and then click save. To edit or delete, you click the request itself and then the edit and delete button. And then for each of the past three use stories, the manage data steward, the manage user, and the manage request, we have created a user manual for ease of use. So we would just click manage data steward, and it has all of the information on how to manage the data steward account. Same thing with the user, and the same thing with the manage request. So far, our group has met every single acceptance criteria for this sprint, and we are on track to starting the next sprint at the exact place that we were expecting to. We will be, again, making some slight adjustments with scheduling just to improve like the functionality of our group. And so far, this sprint has been very successful.